Let's talk about European tourism. I mean, it is just massive. It's a cornerstone of the economy, a beautiful mosaic of cultures, and for millions of people, it's their way of life. But it's also a story of a crisis, a really sudden, unprecedented crisis. And now, an incredibly ambitious reinvention. Okay, let's get into it.
So, you want to talk scale? Let's talk scale. Check out this number. Before the pandemic, back in 2019, tourism supported 22.6 million jobs across the European Union. We're talking about a massive ecosystem of airlines, hotels, restaurants, museums, you name it.
And then, 2020 happened. The bottom just fell out. This graph says it all, really. I mean, look at that sharp red line for tourism's business confidence. It didn't just dip, it absolutely cratered. It became the hardest hit sector, period. This visual, it's like watching an industry grind to a complete and total halt. And the numbers behind that freefall, they are just staggering. In 2020 alone, the industry saw its revenues basically evaporate, plummeting by around 70%. This wasn't just about people canceling their holidays. This put up to 11 million jobs on the line, threatening livelihoods all across the continent. So you see, the challenge wasn't just about survival. It was about how to even begin to rebuild. You know, there's that old saying, right? Out of crisis comes opportunity. And that's exactly what happened here. This huge shock forced everyone to think differently. It became crystal clear that just going back to business as usual, that just wasn't going to cut it. This was a real, once-in-a-generation chance to completely rethink what tourism should even be. And that rethinking gave birth to something called the Transition Pathway for Tourism. Now, this isn't just some dusty report sitting on a shelf. Nope. Think of it as a collaborative game plan for the entire industry, a way to build a future that's smarter, greener, and a heck of a lot more resilient. So what is this transition pathway exactly? Well, the best way to think about it is like a shared blueprint. It was built or co-created with input from literally everyone. We're talking airlines, tiny tour operators, you name it. And the goals are pretty simple, really. First, hit the accelerator on making tourism more sustainable and tech-savvy. And second, make the whole system tougher, for the long haul. And why is that shared blueprint so important? Well, it's because tourism is this gigantic, interconnected web. I mean, it's not just the hotel where you crash for the night, right? It's the plane or the train that got you there. It's the cafe you grab a coffee at, the museum you wander through, even the website you use to book it all. So when one part of that web breaks, like we saw, it sends shockwaves through everything else. That's why a coordinated plan is just absolutely essential. All right, so the first big piece of this new pathway, it's all about the green transition. This is about transforming tourism from something that can strain the environment into a genuine force for good. And here's the kicker. This push isn't just some top-down thing from politicians. Nope, it's coming from us, from travelers. Get this, a whopping 82% of Europeans say they're willing to change how they travel to be more sustainable. I mean, the demand is there, loud and clear. That's a huge green light for the industry to change. Okay, so what does going green actually look like on your next vacation? Well, it means embracing this idea of circular travel, which honestly just makes for a way better trip. Think about it. Restaurants that are super proud to serve you incredibly fresh food from local farms, or your hotel making a real effort to get rid of all those annoying single-use plastics. These are real, tangible changes that make your holiday feel more authentic, and hey, they're better for the planet too. And of course, a huge part of sustainability is rethinking how we actually get to our destination. This covers the whole shebang, from pushing for cleaner fuels for planes and cruise ships, all the way to a massive investment in high-speed rail. In fact, the goal is to double high-speed rail traffic by 2030. It's all about making the green choice the easy choice, and maybe even the best choice for all of us. Okay. Pillar number 2, the digital transformation. This is all about using technology to make your entire travel experience smarter, safer, and just ridiculously smooth. I mean, think about the jump we're making here. We're going from the old world of fumbling with paper maps and juggling a dozen different bookings to a future of smart, integrated travel. Imagine buying just one ticket that covers your flight, the train from the airport, and the local bus to your hotel, or destinations using real-time data to help you avoid the crazy crowds at famous landmarks. Your whole trip just becomes more personal and less of a hassle, all thanks to smarter tech. But tech isn't just about convenience. It can also help us solve some of the trickier social problems tourism can create. And here's a big one you've probably heard about, especially in big cities: the impact of short-term rentals on local communities. So the question is, how do we make tourism work for the people who actually live there, not just for the visitors?
Well, the answer lies in using smart digital policy to create fair and transparent rules. The EU is actually working on a new framework to bring more transparency to the whole short-term rental market. The idea is to give local authorities the tools they need to manage things like housing while still letting a healthy, fair rental market thrive. It's about finding that balance.
And all of that brings us to the final, and maybe most important, pillar: resilience. Look, after the absolute chaos of 2020, the goal now is to build a tourism industry that is way stronger, one that's basically shock-proof against future crises.
I think we all remember this part. The pandemic laid bare a massive weakness in the system. It just wasn't built for mass cancellations. I mean, the whole thing just buckled. Travelers were left high and dry, waiting for refunds, and travel companies were facing financial collapse. The entire structure just wasn't designed for a shock of that magnitude.
So how do you build a stronger system? You start by updating the rulebook. We're talking about things like revising the package travel directive to give you, the consumer, way better protection. It means making sure refunds are paid out on time, even when things go wrong. It means protecting travelers if an airline or a travel company goes bust. And it also means using better data to keep an eye on the industry's health so we can spot problems before they turn into another full-blown crisis.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, you've got the green transition, the digital transformation, and this new focus on resilience. What you have is a vision for a future that's just better. Better for the planet, better for local communities, and frankly, a better experience for all of us as travelers. This isn't just a patch-up job. It's a complete reinvention of the industry.
Which really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? The crisis could have been the end of tourism as we know it. But with this ambitious new roadmap, could it actually be the beginning of something much, much better? What do you think?